The next project on my boat is going to move the engine. I have to build new engine mounts and move the engine forward, and the reason for that is when I installed the engine about a year ago, it was a complete new engine. It's a Beta Marine 28 what I have in there now, based on a 3-cylinder Kubota motor. Before it had a 4-cylinder Perkins in there. Anyhow, so I had to, of course, build my own motor mounts. As everybody knows, you can't just go to Walmart or the auto parts store and order motor mounts for a Beta Marine that fits in a 40-year-old Alberg sailboat. Yeah, so I installed it, lined up the propeller shaft, and it seemed to be good. And then, like in my last video, I worked on, or like last time I worked on, I didn't put up the video yet, worked on my rudder position. I reworked my rudder, fiberglassed it over, and found out I didn't have enough rake on the rudder, meaning like my left and right movement was restricted due to I put too much fiberglass on. I had not enough clearance, so I did lots of sanding on the rudder itself and also on the back of the boat to get more clearance. So here I got now a clear gap, which results in that I can move the rudder now more to the left and right, which that's what I wanted. But I found another problem that I created with doing that, and this is what it did. So here's the propeller I got on there, and it has plenty clearance to the rudder in straight position, but that's not the problem. If I turn the rudder now to either full right or left position, the blades already almost touching the rudder, leave like very little clearance. It would be okay if I would know this is my final propeller. This is a 13-inch diameter propeller, but I may go to 14-inch, which was actually recommended to me by somebody at Beta Marine. I just found this propeller and was thinking maybe this can work, but if I would put a larger diameter propeller on there, it would definitely touch the rudder right here. Same when I turn it the other way. That's actually already touching there, so I can't leave it like this. So this is my problem. The propeller shaft is protruding out too much. I have this, I'd say, about an inch gap here. I'm just gonna have to close this in, get the propeller further away from the rudder, and of course to do that I'm gonna have to move the engine forward. Now you can't just move an engine forward because they are in fixed position. You can move them a little bit left and right and up and down and tilt them until you get the flanges adjusted just right, but not the engine itself. And so initially when I built the motor mounts for this particular engine, I really didn't have the propeller available, so I just went by, okay, how far is the shaft gonna stick out, and so on and so forth. Well, I did have a propeller actually from the Perkins, and I put that one on there, which is actually a smaller propeller than this one. And yeah, like usually I didn't really pay attention much to how much of a gap I had before. And another thing is there's also a damper plate on the back of, well, between the transmission and the propeller flange that I completely forgot to calculate. So, well, make a long story short, I ended up with this not too much of a gap. Yeah, so the only fix is I'm gonna have to pull the motor out, rebuild my motor mounts, and put it back in. Yeah, everything's trial and error on those boats. Everybody who does the same what I do knows that. So, okay, I'm gonna move the camera inside and we're gonna document how I'm gonna take my motor out. If that's something that's interesting for somebody, please keep watching. The joy of my electric hatches. Oh, what a child I am. Just never gets old. Gotta have some time. Don't be in a hurry when you have a sailboat, especially if you make everything even slower than necessary. But hey, it's all electric, right? And not to forget my forward hatch. It just never gets old. So here is my engine that I'm gonna have to take out and change the motor mounts. What a joy. So the first thing I have to do is, of course, take all the wires off. The way I did the wires, I completely made my own harness. And used basically marine grade wires from the engine into those junction bars or bus bars, whatever you want to call them, and I numbered them so it's easy to take them off and put them back on the right place. So if you're doing that type of project where you deal with wiring up your engines, do yourself a favor, take off the original harness, unless it's like a brand new one, of course, then I guess leave it alone. But here's the problem: notoriously those engine harnesses, they're not using marine grade wires, and over time, and you're never gonna see it, they deteriorate under the insulation. So, and then you're gonna lose instruments, you lose whatever, oil pressure readings, temperature readings, or they could become inaccurate. I mean, yes, it's a diesel engine, technically it doesn't really need any wires to run. As long as you got it started up and it gets fuel, it's gonna keep running because they're just mechanical diesels. But either way, you're gonna eventually lose that problem. You know, you're gonna lose starter exciter wires too. You know, so yeah, I recommend replace every single wire, because they're not really that many in many ways. But use marine grade wires. I use heat shrink connectors, which are also completely sealed, also marine grade. So yeah, they won't deteriorate. because the copper is like tinned over or something like that, you know. Just a pointer, you know. Just do yourself the favor, do that extra work, and in the end it's gonna look cleaner too, because the factory wiring harnesses, they usually just use a big plastic plug or some shit, and they're themselves that's gonna become a problem, you know. Okay, now getting to the mechanical part of the engine. Okay, I'm ready to pull my engine. Hopefully it works the way I thought. I guess that wasn't too bad. So here it is, all pulled out. So yeah, once more I got my engine bay empty again. I'm wondering actually if I could just shorten the drive shaft a little bit. Who knows? You have to take it out first and then we'll see. Yeah, that's that. The engine is out. So the next step is I'm gonna have to take the propeller shaft out.